Hi everyone, thanks for joining along and welcome to a brand new channel, the FM Touchline. Really excited for this one. Essentially going to be utilising the Mad Scientist database. We're going to be jumping back in time to the 98-99 season, and what we're going to try and do is actually use our knowledge of the past 25 years to really rewrite history, and really go from a youth academy perspective, really trying to find those stars of today, stars of a few years ago, and look to bring them into obviously our team early on, and seeing if we can obviously topple the teams that were the best back then. You got the likes of Arsenal, as we can see here, Man United predicted to finish first. And what we're actually going to do before we choose our team, and obviously reveal that, we'll quickly jump into the Premier League, and just have a look to see what the lay of the land was back then. A look at the season preview. Obviously, you've still got the likes of obviously Charlton predicted to finish bottom, Coventry, Middlesbrough, still Wimbledon within there as well. Sheffield Wednesday. Looking at the teams, you've got Beckham, you've got York, you've got Giggs, you've got Andy Cole for United. You look at the Liverpool team, Owen Fowler, Paul Ince, Redknapp. Some really good teams within that. Obviously, Ginola still at Spurs. And then obviously Chelsea before the big money takeover. You got Zola, you got Flo. So some really, really good, obviously old teams, and some names we're all very much heard of as we grow up, from that perspective. But what we're actually going to do, we're going to pick. So the team we're actually going to go for had an extremely good youth academy back then. Obviously had a few good seasons, but ultimately had some ups and downs during this period as well. So we're actually going to go for West Ham. And reason for that we'll see in a second. Obviously, media prediction finished 10th. But if we have a look at the squad, you've got some real top quality players there just to start with. So you've got Ferdinand, you've got Cole, you've got Lampard, Di Canio, and probably more as we look into that and go into the youth system as well. So we're going to choose West Ham, probably a good starting base. Like you say, we've got a core of those kind of key players who went on to be superstars, but ultimately we're going to look to try and keep them obviously with West Ham, but then obviously grow that team out as well. So without further ado, let's jump into the West Ham job. So it's official. Obviously, West Ham have appointed the FM Touchline as the new club manager. As we go through, but obviously still media prediction 10th. Obviously, another look at the team. Obviously, you've got Di Canio, you've got Lampard, you've got Ferdinand within the starting 11, Scott Minto, Sasha Hislock. Obviously, goal for the board as well was to sign players under the age of 23, which works perfectly for the aim of the save. Have a look at the market. Let's have a look, obviously review what finances we've got here. Let's have a quick scan over the team. Again, we've got Shaka Hislop in goal. Who we've got in defence? We've got obviously Neil Ruddock. I've obviously put in the youth academy in here as well to give us an idea of what we've got and what we're working with. Scott Minto, Rio Ferdinand. Obviously got Michael Carrick at 16 years old. Frank Lampard. Who else we got? Joe Cole, 16 years old. We got very young Jimmy Bullard. We've got Di Canio, 29, prime of his years. And then obviously up front as well. Obviously, from my perspective, probably a few. This is probably the area we'll look to target. Obviously, up front, not many of the names that I recognise there from the striking perspective. So let's jump into the finance, see what we're working with. Obviously, quite a low budget to start. Obviously, 2.2 mil. Quite close to the current spend within the wage as well. But then as we can see, as we go forward, this obviously the projection of the Premier League money that is obviously is going to help us as we go through the years, and obviously be able to spend some money as we go further forward. So let's have a quick look at the players that are currently available. What we'll do, we'll just have a look at everyone to start with, see who's the best in the world at the moment. So we got the likes of Ronaldo, Zidane, Batistuta, Bergkamp, Baggio, Maldini, Vieri, Rivaldo. Obviously a whole host of world superstar names, but obviously the aim and the goal of this is to have a look at some of the youngsters. So let's filter this down. Let's maybe look at anyone 19 under to start with. obviously got Michael Owen, obviously in Elka they've already broken through, but as we go a bit further down, we're going to obviously see the likes of obviously Harry Kewells at Leeds. We got Robbie Keane at Wolves still. There we go, Pirlo, 19 years old. Xavi, Barcelona. Thiago Silva. So yeah, what we're going to have a look at Pablo Aimar as well. So let's have a look. What we'll go through. I'll do a bit of digging, see what we can find from the youth academy perspective. I'll quickly touch base on each one and keep you posted with anything that we, from a sales or signing perspective as well, as we go through. Bring you back into it a few weeks down the line. Obviously, we played a few friendlies, but we obviously jumping back into actually showing our first signing. We've made a few sales just to get a bit of money, and this is probably going to be our only signing of the window because it uses up all of our budget that we've got. But it's a big one, and it's one obviously quite good from a youth perspective and that superstar name as well. So go into the inbox to confirm it. As you can see, we are signing Ronaldinho. Yes, that's correct. West Ham are signing Ronaldinho. So if we adjust the budget there, and Ronaldinho has agreed to join the club. Did have to put a release clause on, but as you can see there, it's 148 million, so quite a large one from that perspective. But yeah, only 3.5 mil. Really good one from that perspective, and I don't think there's going to be any more signings because as we jump into it, obviously we've just agreed to adjust the budget there. We're going to use that as we continue through. But what I'll do, if there are any more sales potentially, or any future obviously buys, which is going to be unlikely from both maybe a loan perspective because we're out of wage as well. But if not, I'll jump back at the start of the season. Unfortunately, no additional signings as of yet. Still trying to bring in a few people on loan. As you can see, have moved some people on. Obviously, David Underworth moving on, Trevor Sinclair and a few others as well. If we go across and look at the squad planner, as you can see, we're quite light on depth. Obviously, then two keepers actually got no recognised right backs in the squad. And as we move further forward, a bit light on the right hand side as well. But obviously moving into the squad for today's game, we are up against Sheffield Wednesday for the first game of the season. We've gone with obviously a 4-2-3-1 with Hislop in goal, Hall, Ferdinand, Ruddock and Minto at the back. Berkovic, Lampard sitting in the midfield, Cole, Keller and Ronaldinho across the middle, and then Di Canio up front as the lone striker. Right, Sheffield Wednesday from the right hand side, whip the ball in and it's 1-0 to Sheffield Wednesday. Andy Booth. I think he ended up playing for Charlton, or might have been before or after this. But that's 1-0. Not the great start. Past Shaka Hislop. It's probably targeting that right hand side of the defence that we're definitely looking to bolster. Definitely looking to improve on. I think the challenge at the start is going to be we're very light, not much backing it up. And again, this looks like it's going to be an absolutely horrendous start. Checking for a penalty. Haven't really seen many of these overturned, and yeah, penalty Sheffield Wednesday. And unless Shaka Hislop makes a save, we're probably going to be 2-0 Sheffield Wednesday, and it is an uphill battle. And this is not the way West Ham and Ronaldinho wanted to start the season. Easily put away there from Oaks. You have to demand a bit more very early on. Sheffield Wednesday ball forward, and Hislop this time makes a save. We'll have to go a bit more positive. Ruddock into the midfield to Ronaldinho. First time we've seen him on the ball. Across to Lampard, to Cole, to Keller. Tried to feed it through to Di Canio, couldn't make it through. Di Canio does get the ball and he blazes over. Maybe should have done a bit better from that. Hall with the ball across to Ferdinand. Now into Ruddock, to Berkovic, through to Keller. Can he? I thought he was going to half the deficit there. Good save from the Sheffield Wednesday keeper, but big chance missed. Berkovic to whip it in, headed away at the front post. Out to Keller. Just looking for Ferdinand. Comes to nothing. Right, 2-0 at half time. Match stats suggest pretty even, but obviously Sheffield Wednesday taking the penalty and that early goal. Going to have to improve in the second half if we are going to get anything from this game. Ball out to Ruddock. Plays a long ball forward to nobody. Keller intercepts, brings it forward. Ronaldinho on the yellow card, feeds it through to Canio. Canny's got, oh, what is that? It's got to be finishing that. And to Canny on a 6.2 is probably going to be my first substitution off for Paul Kitson. So can the change make a difference? Ronaldinho down the left hand side wins the ball back, drives into the box. Can he finish? Tipped over the bar by Sheffield Wednesday, but that is a lot better from West Ham. Berkovic with the ball in. Cannot get the head to the ball. Cleared away by Sheffield Wednesday. Putting a bit more pressure on here. Lots of shots compared to them. Let's encourage the team a bit more. We have been the better team this game. Just those early goals have really set us back. Berkovic to Ruddock. To Minto. Ball over the top to Kitson. Going to be cleared out. Ronaldinho picks the ball up to Minto. To Berkovic. Cross to Keller. Can he equalise? Not equalise, I wish it was. Looks like he's got one back. Referee is checking with VAR. But running back, yeah, 2-1. So as we can see here, Ronaldinho wins the ball back to Minto. Berkovic plays the ball over the top. Keeper's in no man's land. Keller tucks it away to half the deficit. See how close this is. Now it's way onside. Right, last 7 minutes. Let's see if we can get ourselves an equaliser. Let's bring Ian Wright on for. Let's have a look. Let's bring him on for Keller, although he has just scored. Easy to switch that around. Go a bit more attacking. Let's demand more if we can. 3 minutes left. Is this game gonna? Oh, last minute, but it's Sheffield Wednesday with the corner. Ball cleared. I think this is going to be it. I think it's going to be a first loss of the season on the first game. Cuts it back, and that confirms it. 3-1 Sheffield Wednesday. Probably not quite deserved the scoreline. I think from the match stats we looked right. Haven't really created a huge amount in highlights. But like I said, there's definitely work to be done from a transfer perspective. Try and move a few people on, see if I can make some wage space and bring in some loan players. But yeah, not the best start to this this new build. Right, after that result, definitely going to be trying to dip into the transfer market, see what we can do. Maybe, like I said, move some players on, bring some loans in potentially. I'll probably play the next few games off camera, maybe come back for the Coca-Cola Cup second round and then maybe the Tottenham game as well. But yeah, obviously, look, thanks for watching. First one on the channel, many more to come. And look, drop a comment in terms of maybe who you like to see. We'll have a look, see if we can sign some of the favourites from the past. And yeah, it'd be good to maybe find out who would be the best person you would suggest signing as we look for that youth to glory style transfer. Look, thanks for watching and catch you next time.